Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Today is Wednesday, and we have a really special event going on. So I am going and allowing this to show up. This is what I want to do starting on Wednesday. What would it be like for you to be able to actually have your questions answered and it not always cost you $10,000 or $20,000, right? What would it be like for you to be able to have someone that you can speak with and know, oh, see how like organized I am? Someone that you can speak with that can provide an answer, lead you to the right spot, um, and tell you what you're missing, what you need to know about. Oops, let me delete that. I want to invite all of you who are not inside of our free Facebook group yet to come and join us. I'm going to be bringing on a special guest in just a minute. Just a minute. We're doing all the things, and here she is. Yay! Here she is. Yay! Hi.
Hello.
Good morning. So I just got on a little bit just to start pulling. I'm looking at the sky. I wish y'all could see the sky. It's like so pretty here. So look at her. She's all bright and shiny, and it's still dark here in Portland. Christine is on the other side of the other side of North America. I almost said the other side of the United States, but no, the other side of North America, because she is in Canada. So today what we're doing is we're coming to you really excited to and invite you to participate in our Facebook group, marybicknell.com Facebook group, because this is being broadcast across LinkedIn and YouTube and all the places. So if you're not inside of our Facebook group yet, I want to invite you in now. Why? Because we're shaking up the industry. Christine and I are going to be shaking up the industry. I'm going to introduce her, tell you a little bit about, and have her tell you a little bit about her experience, what she's going to be bringing to the table. But let's talk a little bit about what's new here. What's new is, people join a Facebook group, and my Facebook group is nearly 5,000 people. So there's a lot of people there. And sometimes I know that you feel lost. I know that you feel like you're not heard, that you're screaming into, a stadium. And I want you to be able to be in the group and know that if I can't answer a question, that you've got somebody there consistently showing up and supporting you. So weekly, Christine is going to come on and do some type of training, some of her training, because she has an expertise that I don't have. And she's also been inside of my trainings and consumed them. And by the way, they're good. And so that's the only reason she's here, because she's loving it. And then she can direct you. And so this is a resource. She's a resource for you to answer some of the questions, not the deep dive questions. Obviously, that's what the work is about, like me or her or what have you. But to be able to be guided someplace. So you're going to notice she's going to be reaching out to you and connecting with you. So expect that. So Christine, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm excited to see what we're going to be doing over the next couple of months. We have a couple plans that we're going to see whether we're going to be able to unfold. And so let's just start with introduce yourself and tell a little bit about what you want to bring to the table as far as some of your background and your energy work and how you see things, and that you have experience in sales and business and all the things. Like, now's our time, everyone, right? Where we talk about that beneficial brag. So it's really not that negative bragging. It's showing your authority. It's claiming your wealth of knowledge. It's actually saying the things that you're good at without hesitation. And you're going to see Christine showing up in the group, exemplifying how to be able to show up online, how to be able to demonstrate conveying your wisdom. Okay, ready? Then go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's so awesome to be working with you. My name is Christine Cardoza, and I help to bring out the confidence in you and your magic. I love doing that for entrepreneurs so that you can not only stand strong in your business and help others to shine in whatever way it is that you're here to help others, but also so that you are shining in your own family and you're super proud and loving what you do. Because I find a lot of people will start a business or they do the thing. Sometimes it's to, you know, become financially wealthy, not have the insecurities, but really it's like, what's your passion? What's deep down in there? And we're usually doing a piece of it, but it's really to bring out that magic and that energy from within and to make it come alive so that you are super excited to wake up in the day and not like, oh, what do I got on today? It's like, yes, what, I can't wait to tackle or to come on and into my business or whatever it is, and start that. And so I have a huge business background. I have been in business ever since I left high school. So over 25 years of business experience in every manner, from working for someone else, management, commission only. I have owned my own contracting company in the last 5 years online. I've been online. I know what that's like. I know social media. I am such a wealth of knowledge for business. My brain is actually, I say, a Pez dispenser. Ideas just come to me, and I call that my downloads, or what really, as I'm connecting to my intuition and what I'm feeling from someone and kind of listening to their subconscious and what they're saying. I'm huge on the subconscious and healing that and the junk that's in there that's not serving us. And I see it when you're speaking. I hear it in the subconscious, which is really cool. And then the ideas just come like, oh, you could do this or this or this. And so if you're in a space where you're stuck, or you're like, I have the puzzle pieces, but I don't know how to put them together so that they come alive, and I feel jacked up about reading my own website, that energy transmutes to other people. And so we're going to help you with that. And I'm just so super excited, because I think that combined with Mary's expertise, her knowledge, what she's been doing, I mean, I've been giving advice, so to speak, for many years. People have always come to me for that, but I've only been coaching a year. I didn't know you could get paid for it. I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. And so I'm newer to that part of like running a coaching business. And that's why I wanted to work with Mary, because her content is fire. Like I'll be listening and I'm like, oh, I got to write that down. Oh, that's so good. Or I'm talking to Mary when I'm listening. I'm like, yes, yes, that. Or I need to write that down because I really want to, remember that and use that in my own life. And I've never heard anyone talk about the 3-day work week. And so when I started to understand kind of more of what you're doing and how you're helping people to really elevate their own legacy, and in that sense of, here's your structure, like work these days, be really efficient, be on your A game, and then go play. And that's really about the balance for me. And our feminine and masculine energies, I'm huge on that, just because I think once you can heal the wounds of what each of those are, then man, do you ever stand strong. And watch out, because when you have that fire and that desire from within, you are getting stuff done. And you're in this pull attraction instead of the repel that I feel a lot of people are in, because they don't have the confidence, or they don't have the belief in themselves, or who told you could now be a coach, or look how many coaches there are out there. That's just bull crap, because there's so many people who are laying awake at night needing our help. They're needing our magic. Yeah. And so now when you're in a space of like really understanding what your purpose is, like your soul aligned mission of why you're here, and it's really what lights you up. There's not like one thing that you came for. It's like what lights you up. Once that's really clear, and you know who you serve exactly, not just I serve women, it's got to be more direct so that your client sees you. And when they read your stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, she's speaking into my heart. Like that's the kind of emotion your stuff wants, you want to evoke when people read it, or they just feel that coming from you. And then, setting up what's your messaging, all of that. Mary's program, like I have spent like over 50 grand in coaching in this last year, and it's crazy. Like I got in way over my head, definitely, and I felt like I had bought Ferraris and I didn't have arms to drive. And I was like, I'm the newbie, like I need help, from like, can you just walk me through A to Z what it looks like? And that's what Mary's program does. And I was like, bingo, like I'm home. This is so great, because that A to Z and the business foundations, and that's actually what I wanted to create, was on my heart. And I think it was just leading me to you, Mary, is that was going to be the name of my program, Business Foundations. And really just like taking someone who really, has some ideas, or they have some passions and some pieces, but they don't know how to put it together. And yours is so clear, and the price point is so good for, mindset, which is really, it's 80% of what we're doing. and then the plans, and then the system all within that program. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is like a huge gift for someone who is in the coaching space, whether you've been doing it for a while and you're just needing to, kind of figure out what you're doing or just get a little bit more clear, or you're brand new. It fits for everyone. And I'm just super excited because even in that program, it's not just like, here, these are the things and go do it. You also have in each section 3 live coaching calls where you're coaching someone else, like on your group call. And that was really helpful for me as well, because hearing other people's questions, it's kind of like group healing in a sense where, you don't know what you don't know until you hear someone else ask. You're like, oh, I never thought of that, or actually I need that too. And so you're able to then learn, and you're in this environment, in this community of other people who are just like you. I want to talk about 10K, 20K, 100K months. I can't do that in my regular circle. They're like, who are you and where did you come from? But there's this desire within me. And I know just connecting with the right community that we are able to have those conversations and not be weird, or, being like, who do you think you are kind of, mentality or thoughts. We can actually be ourselves, our authentic selves, and share in this community of other entrepreneurs. And Mary, like, your group is just great. I've been in there and like reading the posts and comments and stuff, and it's so good. Like, we're all on a very similar mission to help make the world a better place. And so for us, we're just going to work with you and getting really clear so that you stand in that message and that power. We don't need to have any scarcity anymore. Like, that is just so, that's gone. And just learning how to release that. And really, I think it's once you fall in love with your own business and what you're doing, and you convince yourself with your stuff that you're putting out there, and you're like, actually, this is really good stuff. Like, I am amazing. Then that energy just follows you. And then people reach out to you and they say, hey, how can I work with you? Or I've been following your stuff and it's really speaking to my heart. Can I get on a call? So I want to know what it's like to be in your community. That is where you want to, live and run a business from. It's so exciting to be in that space.
Well, I love that. Thank you. So yes, so what she's talking about is one of the programs. So, this is the combination, right? So she's going to be answer some of these foundational questions, right? And some other questions, right? She has a sales background. Of course, I can help you with some of your advanced, right? Some of you are already very successful and established inside of your businesses. And so I'm still working with people who are, already at a certain level. So we're just bringing the best of it. So here's what to expect. So here's some of the ideas that we're going to be putting out. So Christine's going to be coming in every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific. That's 10 a.m. Eastern, and pulling some content from inside of, inside some of my programs, and giving her spin on it, giving her talk on it, giving her hearing about it. And so she's going to be also tagging you. So when you're coming in, she's going to be reaching out. It's going to take a little while because there's 5,000 of you, but she's going to be reaching out and really asking the question, like, what do you need help with? Like, where can I direct you? And to be candid, some of it's going to be like, here's a YouTube video, or here's this, or inside the guides, or listen to this podcast. But some of you, it's going to be like, you're ready now, and maybe you need that self-study program, right? Maybe you're an advanced business owner. So she's going to be like, here you go. Here's Mary's, here's her calendar link. And we're really wanting to get into that relationship, right? So that it's not just like you come in and you're feeling like, you don't know where to start, because sometimes I know you come in and you don't know whether to show up, whether to share what you do. So we're going to have posts in there. We'll map these out, posts in there where it's like, share your website, celebrate a win. I want to start doing this where it's like maybe on Fridays, right? Or we'll pick a day. We'll let you know. We'll put the schedule out there, but really pick a day to celebrate. And this is the thing that's really been on my heart lately as far as missing inside the group. Of course, I post when my clients have celebrations or successes, but there's 5,000 women in there that have celebrations, I'm sure, every week. And we all collectively need to see them. And it doesn't have to be the $100,000 month or the $10,000 month. It could just be like, I did my first Facebook Live, or I hired my first associate, or I said no to a crappy client. Like, these are wins that we need to talk about. Recently, one of my clients said that to me. She's like, she got a call and she said no. And she's like, that's the
Oh,
first time I ever did that. And that is like, you guys, this is
all
also a
right.
magic moment. I love that Christine is bringing magic here, right? We have to start being in tune with, it chokes me up. We have to be in tune with all the possibilities that are right there in front of us. And we have to, when we're in that place of belief and expectancy and of courseness, then it shows up. And when we're in that lack and that scarcity, as she was saying, in that fear-based place, then what happens is, we don't see what's the magic that's right in front of us. And so maybe we should just call it magic moments, right? Like moments of celebration. Because
Yeah.
the more of those that you see, the more of those that you see, the more of those that you believe it's possible to have these magic moments, the more of those will happen. And this is where this is the train that I want y'all to get on, right? Like I just feel like all like the magic train. I don't know. We're gonna have a conversation all. That's so beautiful, right? I think exactly what you're saying is when you have those moments, when you see it, that is the change in the energy. That's the vibration that we're sending out. That's the all of those things. And Christine was so beautiful and I really appreciate it. Part of the reason she's here too is because, my company name is called See the Signs. And she's like, why don't you talk about that more? And I'm like, because I can get very into like how to do this, because that's just and, part of the podcast is bringing more of that spiritualness in or more of that manifestation piece of the puzzle, which is all the behind the scenes. You don't think I'd create all of this without that. Right. So it is those magic moments. So thank you, Christine. That's so good. So what's one, so today's a Wednesday. Like let's just like, and this is off the cuff, guys. So she does no idea what I'm getting right. You know how many people say things like, it's hump day, it's Wednesday hump day, or thank God it's Friday. What's your thoughts around that? This is to this point, right? This is to the point. When people say things like that, what's your take on that?
I think it depends on where, like how they're saying it. So it could be like for fun, but if it's like, oh, hump day or Murphy's Law, then that is not the space to be in. Because that's just you're in the assumption of like negative things are going to happen. And it's that programming, that 0 to 7 year programming of when we were kids and what we heard, that's what comes out subconsciously. Like you just say it and you might not even realize because we spend 95% of our day in our old programming. And so it might be that, just catching what you're saying to yourself or being the observer of how you're running your day or how many hours a day do you spend in like a suffering state instead of like a state of empowerment. Just, even that alone is going to be a game changer for you. Just take a look at yesterday. How did you feel? Were you in the stuff, for most of the day, or were you feeling like, yes, getting stuff done, I'm trusting myself, I've got these habits or these consistent things that are happening. And that's such a game changer because that's even there how you're going to be able to work 3 days and not feel guilty taking the other ones off. Like I was, on the live yesterday when you were talking about your schedule, and that was just so beautiful how you even just offered that, and that was in the email. If you're not on her emails, I highly recommend, because even that alone was a huge nugget on how to run a 3-day work week. But I feel a lot of us have been pushed down, or we've been taught to go to work 12-hour days, that old patriarchal masculine way of hustle and grind. We're not there anymore. It's like, come in, have your structure. This is the masculine energy within you, and the feminine is your play. It is your time to nurture yourself and to have fun and do the things. And might you still work in those days? Yes, but the things that you're choosing to put in there are the things that light you up, where you're like, I could talk to this person all day or about these things, and that's okay. But really just making sure that you are filling your own cup and you have that time, because that's how the energy flows. If you're working 10, 12 hours a day, you're trying to figure stuff out for 5, 6 days a week, and you only give yourself that one day to play, it's like the universe is just going to give you more of that struggle, because the more that we focus on one thing is what we're going to receive back. And so it's really being in this space of being open to receive. And we never really learned that. We learned that we had to do for others. And if you're a mom, you're giving to everyone else and you're last. And we're shifting that now, where it's like you first, you fill your own cups, like putting on your own oxygen mask. You feel really good. We're going to talk about morning routines and how important those are, of like filling your cup. Because then what happens psychologically, your brain's not looking for ways to comfort itself all day, which could be numbing, it could be chocolate, it could be any kind of addiction, dissociation of like, when you know you're supposed to be doing something in your business, but you're off doing something else. Oh, I should do the dishes. Well, that's not the time you're doing your dishes, right? Like, so you can talk yourself in and out of anything. And so we're just going to help give you that clarity of when to be in that structure and that, moving forward energy, and then when to take that rest and be in your feminine, your safe feminine, where it's okay. And you don't have to feel guilty for taking time off. That's probably one of the biggest things I learned with energies and the masculine and feminine, is I never even felt okay to watch a movie on the weekends or at any time. I felt so guilty, like, oh, I should be doing something. Whether it's not work, maybe I'm reading a book that's for work, like there's always something. It's like
Oh my
this time
God,
of play.
that's me. I feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but you shifted it, and you even, like, in your schedule that you had emailed us, like, on this day is when I'm painting or I'm doing watercolors or I'm taking a writing class. You are bringing out your creative feminine side, which is really amazing, because then you are going to be in a space of just balance and feeling like the contented woman. I love that side, like everything's done and it's good. But when you're in this like fight or flight, or you're so forward, or like, how do I get this, or I need to pay the bills, or I have this big thing coming, or you're just in that part of feeling stuck or in any fear, then you are not open to receive from the government, or the government. Wow. Not from the government either, but from the universe. You're just not in that space of being open to receive, and you're going to, whatever state you're in, as within, so without. As we do one thing, we do all things. And so being very mindful of what energy and what state you're in is really where your business is going to grow. And I mean, even just working with me, this is one thing that impressed me too about your business, was like, hey, from wherever you're at, let's talk about 300 to $500,000 years, working 3 days a week. Like, who does not want that? I was like, I'm first in line. Like, move.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's so possible. And I think everything that you're saying too is talking about the like the workaround. Like, I love we should just do, I want you to just really do something all around the concept of receiving. And it's just like, even receiving like support, right, inside the group, but receiving $300,000 to $500,000 in a 3-day work week doesn't sound, to most people, plausible, possible, that kind of thing, right? And so, and if you believe it's impossible, you're never going to be able to receive it. And so that receiving, like, right, and how much, like, asking for help or receiving help, like, so much of the ability to receive is so reflected in our lives. And I think that definitely, this is all your area for sure. I love the way you speak about it. And I think that that is one of the missing components so much, right? Is like, we are in the grind. Now, just as a side note, in my house, and this is a funny conversation, but inside my house, like, I like getting into machine mode. And what that means to me is like, I'm tinkering and I'm working it out so that I have this output. But, you could say, well, that's very masculine, right? And I was like, well, or you could say it's like a knitting machine, like, you could call it whatever. But I like getting into that zone. And that's the zone that I feel like so often we are honored for, right? Like, crank it out, crank it out, crank it out. And just the very fact about going for hikes or watercoloring, or, I like being in machine mode, or like highly focused and disciplined and determined and decisive during my work time, right? Because that allows me to receive, like, pouring in, then it allows me to receive all this free time. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Just like what you were saying, you felt guilty at one time sitting just watching TV. It's not like, it's really been mind work, like thought work about, sitting on the sofa or going for a hike or whatever. In fact, I would say to John, like, I'm really not being lazy. And he's like, Mary, you're like the least lazy person I know. But it's still that, right, that worth moment where it's just like, I know I've worked all day. Or like yesterday, I started at 7 a.m. and I had a really full day. And by the end of the day, I was able to just like let it go and then go see River play volleyball and just be so present. And
Awesome.
that's
Yes.
like, that's also like receiving, like, how do we gift to ourselves so we can actually receive the gift of our work, which for me was totally chilled out last night, screaming my head off. That's why my voice is funny today. And they won the volleyball game, and I'm the mom who's like, oh, you know, and to be like, how do you receive gifts that you can give to yourself? How do you even know how to do that? So I think we definitely will map this out for this part of the conversation. And even maybe, you know, prompts inside the group, like what's the latest thing you've received? A compliment? Do you poo-poo a compliment? If you're poo-pooing a compliment, how do you think you're going to be able to have
Yeah.
someone say, here's $10,000, here's $20,000, let me work with you. If you like, that is like, we have to look at the micro to even get to that meta. We have to look at the small, right? If
Yeah.
we're unable to receive a compliment, or if we're unable to receive like just some support, how do you think you're going to receive something grand? How do you think you're going to lead a life uncommon? How do you think somebody, you know, like all of that? I love all this. We're going to have so
Yeah, this is a safe space to ask for support. Like, you're safe here. And I feel that's not really somewhere we've had available to us, even just growing up, of like, come, you know, we're here, we have the expertise, like the two of us together. I just feel like this fire energy, like it's gonna just feel so good and energizing in our group. And we're gonna bring you that value where you're going to feel that you're getting fed, but that you're also in the space of like, I belong here, and there's other people who are just like me, and we're all working towards something that's usually helping other people. But just to be in that space and that kind of community is so heartwarming, because outside of this, like, who else can you talk to really, unless you've got a couple other entrepreneur friends? But it can be very lonely, and it doesn't need to be. You just got to find the right tribe and people who are, you know, wanting or doing things that have what you're looking for, and like move in that direction. And yeah, just really super excited. I would say, even as you're watching this, if this is a draw to you, like, reach out to me in a DM, or put an emoji, let's just say like a happy face emoji or something in the chat, and I'll reach out to you, because I'm telling you, like, I can see your stuff. I'm a visionary. I see big picture. I can take all your pieces and figure out how to, maybe, you know, not maybe, I know, like, just how to put them together and to really give you that next step, or even just a boost. Maybe it's just like you need someone to look at your stuff and being like, wow, you're doing amazing, because we don't celebrate ourselves. And if you don't have anyone else validating you, then this is also going to be really important for our magic moments that we'll share, of like, come in, and when you share something, there's some really cool things that happen within you. Is that when you're sharing, so you're using your courage to share something, that a win or whatever that was, and then now we get to celebrate you. But I have a hard time with that word. We're reciprocating. Yeah, thank you. Where you're giving into the group. So you're being present and saying, yes, you know, I'm here and I could be an active member, but then also we're going to give to you as well. So it goes back and forth. And I just really feel that you're going to feel held and supported. And maybe you never had that before now. And it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Right. That's a beautiful place to end. And I love what you said at the end there too. Is like, that was actually a shift for me. It's just like, you know, how often do we not want to put in and speak about
Yeah.
our celebrations, because we're like, oh, I shouldn't tell anybody that. And yet
Right.
we're all wanting that and hungry for that and arms open. Like, we want to see that, like, literally, you know, in my groups, right, I'm like, yay, you know, we want that, we need that. That is valuable to share the wins, to celebrate, we need that. I think we need this too, just like as a world, right, and as a
Yeah.
community, and to we're so inundated with negativity all day long, right? God knows, if you just
Mm.
turn on the news. So when we're in this kind of space, this container, and being able to celebrate and share, and so that can change somebody else's day.
Hmm. And belief. If someone else is celebrating, they're like, I just signed a $2,000 client, a $20,000 client, whatever it is, you can actually read that and you can say, me too. Like, if they can do it, so can I. You believe that it's real. So many coaches are out there saying, like, come, we'll bring you to 6, 7 figure. And yes, that's great. And they have their marketing, you know, all of that. But really, deep down, do you believe that you can do it? Right. And so when you're reading other people's wins, I think it just builds your confidence up inside. Man, if that lady can do it, then so can I. Or, yeah, that's just what was coming is like this feeling of confidence, and it's going to build us all up together, which is awesome.
Well, that's how we're going to end today, everyone.
Cool.
Your confident support coach. Really
Nice.
so much of it, right? Belief and
Yeah.
confidence needs to be breathed into everything. So
Yeah.
thank you, Christine, and everyone who's going to be watching the replay. Reach out to her and look for her to reach out to you. And over the next couple of weeks, right? Notice the celebrations. Notice what's coming. And don't be surprised when she reaches out to you, right? That's the whole point. And feel free to reach out to her, and we'll come up.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about, daily prompts, or at least 2 or 3 prompts per week, and expect her to be in there, right? And expect me to be reaching out to you too. One of the things that is this allows also is that I have more ability, right, to reach out, because with 5,000 people, honestly, it's not the easiest thing in the world to, and I created this so that you feel a sense of community, except when it gets so big, then it's not always easy to make those connections, and I need and value those as well. So thank you, Christine.
Awesome.
Yay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye,
I'll
everyone.
just say lastly, sorry, that Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific is where you can come. So once I'm live, you can pop your questions in the chat, or just come in and, let's have conversations. This is a space for you to feel held and supported. Just wanted to mention the time again.
I agree. And
Wednesday.
I've been typing into the comments just so
Oh, good.
And
Okay,
also,
cool.
we'll do an event, and she'll do some invitations. And we also know that it will take a little bit of time to get some traction, right? Because this is new and this isn't part of your schedule. So we're going to be putting prompts out and reminding you so that you can come and you can ask questions, or you can maybe reach out to her. And sometimes I know at first we're a little nervous, right? So we're gonna we're gonna have I have hundreds of questions that really she could just show up, and I'm like, here, answer these 10 questions every single time, and that right
Okay.
there will be not 10, but maybe a couple, but every single time, because you all have been asking the same ish questions for all these
Yeah.
years, the last couple
Yeah.
of years. So this is what we're going to be doing, is answering those questions that most people have. And she'll be able to put her beautiful, amazing way of articulating through a little bit of a different lens than you've heard from me. And that's exactly why she's here. So bye,
Cool.
everybody. Enjoy the day. I will talk to you later. Bye, Christine.
Bye.